What's up, and welcome to Lunchtime in the Lab, your number one gambling podcast for quick picks, a little bit of a detailed analysis, winning picks generally. That's the most important part. Certainly, is that we do some winning here. I was able to go back through the podcast. We are up 15 units since starting this. That is not by any means a magnificent huge number, but positive is certainly positive. And when you're just betting straights, going one after another, there being up 15 units is not too bad, obviously. So I will certainly take it. Let me get my notes pulled up here, and we'll get going. Okay. All right, whatever. Okay, got the notes pulled up here. As you guys are trickling in, make sure you like the video, like you share it, all that stuff, whatever. Hit that subscribe button as well. I think I'm like 2 or 3 followers away from hitting 400. So, mini goal that I've had, trying to stack that all the way up there. If you're watching this on a recorded version, sometimes the weekend shows can be pretty. I can have a lot of people in the weekend shows. Sometimes I don't have a lot of people. So if you're watching this on a recorded version, thank you so much. I appreciate that just as much, coming over and watching it recorded instead of live. Either or is certainly fantastic. Before we get into today's plays, take a look back and see what we did. I would say yesterday, but what was that? Thursday. I had the day off yesterday for my birthday. It was nice to kind of not really pay attention to any bet type stuff. Although I did do a little bit of college baseball. Watched Oklahoma get absolutely smashed. So I did not have that birthday magic, unfortunately, that I was hoping for. But, let's see. Whatever the last bets were, we had Jalen Suggs over 14.5 points plus rebounds. That came in pretty easy. He went 3 crazy at the end. I mean, the guy made like 3 threes in the last couple minutes. So it seemed like it was kind of dead in the water, and the guy just caught fire for us. So that was a nice little cash. DeJounte Murray did not get his 14.5 rebounds and assists. If I'm not mistaken, we had a blowout in that game. So that one lost there. And then we had, I guess I could just show you though. I'm doing this recap here. And then we had Jimmy Butler over 9.5 rebounds and assists. He ended at 10. So depending on where you got it, 9.5 or 10 pays to watch the show live. I guess I would say if you were watching on the recorded version, you might have got the 10.5 and caught the hook. When we did the show, the 9.5 was all over the place. So we grabbed that up. So hopefully you grab that. If not, hey, that's all right. We go 2 in one day. Like I said, up 15 units for the lifetime of the podcast here. Not positive what it looked like, by February, by whatever. There was a streak of the last 10 days. I was in my tracker. I wasn't putting dates. I was just kind of doing it quick. And then moving on to the next things that I needed to do. So I'm not sure what the month ended up, to be honest. For the month in the Discord, though, I can say I finished at 25.4 units. If you're a $10 better, you were up, what is that, $24, $240. $50 better would be up like 1,000 something. And then a $100 better, for units would be up $2,400. If you were to follow every single one of my plays as described in the Discord, that is pretty good. And that is just me, to be honest. There's about a dozen other guys, or maybe I'm one of a dozen. I can't remember how many we have in there, but code all caps lunchtime. Get March set straight. We have March Madness coming up. We have MLB starting on March 28th. And I think March 30th, we get the UFL. The United Football League, the XFL, and the USFL have merged together. We have football back. Me and my boy Ty, hoping to do a little bit of a podcast. Not sure if we're doing that for sure or not. But Ty, the college guy, and myself will be betting on some UFL. We'll have some football. So a lot of good things to check out. The Discord out. 25% off. Comes out to just $1 a day if you were to sign up with that code. And I have the link in the bottom of my YouTube there. But without further ado, let's hop into it. First play is going to be my boy AR-15, Austin Reeves, over 13.5 points. And I'll tell you what, guys, I wrote this up about an hour ago with my notes, took the play, bet the plays, whatever. Wife's on a cleaning spree, so I wanted to hurry up, get it done so I can get out there and not let her do it all. Granted, I only vacuumed the living room or the bedroom or whatever, but hey, I was still out there. Moral support. He's covered this 13.5 point line in 7 straight games against the Nuggets. He played them just last month. He had 15 in that game. I don't think we see that Linsanity Austin Reeves against the Nuggets in the playoffs, putting up 20, 23, 24, whatever, whatever the top line was there. But we need just 14 points, maybe just 15, depending on what the book has, for you. I would certainly take it up to 14 and a half. 15 and a half probably still feels like that's a pretty good number too. The game back in February when they played, I think it was on the 8th, he shot just 6 for 16 and he still went over. 7 straight against this team. It is a heck of a trend to make sure that we want to ride. I did actually see somebody post recently about D'Angelo Russell, how he has not hit his line in like something like 5, 6, 7 games against the Nuggets. So if you have somebody if sorry, I got like something stuck in my throat. If you have when you have D'Lo who's not able to succeed against this team, obviously we have our LeBrons, we have our ADs, we have our Austin Reeves and whoever. Just 14, 15 points is certainly plenty to ask for, or not too much to ask for, however you want to say that. And we also have a tight spread on prime time. We're talking a pick 'em nearly. Should be a great game, to be honest, unless like LeBron ends up sitting out or something like that. But all the while, that's obviously going to help for us. In fact, if LeBron sits out, that's when we take D'Lo assists. I mean, LeBron's always questionable. I'm sure he is. I don't know. That just popped in my head. But D'Lo is a monster when LeBron is out for assists. If he's not scoring against the Nuggets, guess what? He's going to be passing the ball, and that could be a fantastic look for us later on. Second play. Second play, we're going to stay in that same game. I don't love to do it, but it seems like I do kind of find myself doing this at times. Man, frog in my throat. So give me a chance to explain this one. But this is my favorite play on the board, and I think you could take it in 2 different ways, and I'll explain that in a second. If you look at the graph that I have pulled up behind me, he's over this in 7 of his last 10 home games. These are home games that I pulled up. In general, he's over this in 6 of his last 10 games. So you can see he hits it at a pretty good, streak or whatever. When he played the Nuggets back in February, he had 35 PA. We need just 28. So he got 7 over that. So that is a pretty solid spot for us. So why not just points? Well, at home, he has covered this line of 2.5 assists. His line is at 2.5 for assists. He's covering this in 9 of his last 10 games. He's had 3 or more assists in 9 of his last 10 games. He had a goose egg the other day. So I guess you could say if he gets assists, he's going to get over 3 in that time frame. He's hitting more than 3 assists in 73% of his home games. Some games he's hitting 5 or 6. I mean, he nearly had a triple-double when he had that 9 the other day. The guy has been able to dish the rock. I would bet the assist line, but with a guy like AD, I mean, it's hard. And especially I feel like with centers, taking assists, like you're relying on a lot of guys. Like I don't know what his potential assist was when he went against the Nuggets when Austin Reeves shot 6 for 16, but like that's a lot of potential to have had some assists and that he didn't get to go away with. You have a reliance on too many other people. So if we take his points and his assists, when his line is just at 2.5, and he's been absolutely just smashing this line at home all year at a 73% hit rate. I mean, he could get to where we want to be in points alone. We know he's very capable of putting up 30 points, but if he can get us a 5 spot, a 6 spot on the assists, the points are going to, fly us over that and no, what's the word? With no problem. You know what I'm saying? So, and the Nuggets are in the last 7, they have given up the 5th most assists to centers and pretty middle of the pack for points. So 5th most assists in the last 7, and we still have that tight spread that I talked about, prime time type game. And like I said, if you have somebody ruled out, as long as it's not AD, that just adds that value to it. So the play is going to be Anthony Davis over 27.5 points plus assists. However, if you want to ride his assists alone at over 2.5, since he's had that awesome hit rate and everything like that against them, then I'll take it either way. I am running the 10K challenge on Twitter and in the Discord. The Discord gets the the write up Twitter has seen the 10K challenge. It's on some college baseball. It's coming out here in a little bit. If you haven't seen that, hit me up on Twitter at Live Joe Bets. I've posted that in my first ever attempt. This was a year and a half ago. I made it to step 9. Kyle Bradish for the Orioles threw a no-hitter against, I think, the Phillies. I'll never forget that day. I'll never forget how it felt to lose that bet. And since then, I'm not overly fond of it, but we're taking a run, and we'll see how it goes. But that being said, I feel that I may come in on step 2 with an Anthony Davis straight here, or possibly mess with his assists at 2.5 and just ride it that way. That's how confident I do feel in this play. Favorite one on the board, like I said, but we're going to ride over 27.5 points plus assists. If you want to take just the assists, if you feel okay, trust in, his team, then and certainly run that way. Sick Vikings hoodie. I'll tell you what, I was going to say the Vikings are going to be good this year. They're not. TJ Parker said sick Vikings hoodie. For those of you listening on the audio version, wearing my gray Vikings. They just released their running back, which I'm cool with that. They not a fan of him. That the backup Chandler was just so much more electric. They're talking about getting rid of Justin Jefferson, which, oh man, if I didn't take me forever. I got this Justin Jefferson card. I'm kind of getting into collecting football cards. Give me just a second. Oh yeah, it's right here. So, there's a glare. This is an error card. I don't know if it's cool. I think it's really cool. It's supposed to be like the Gridiron Kings or whatever. Guy says Vikings are trash. Yeah, no, I know. I've been a fan of them for a while. But it doesn't have his name or anything on it. So it got messed up in production. So I think that's kind of cool. I got a Bryce Young rookie card yesterday too, which I feel could have some value. Kind of getting into it though. I like sports, like betting on sports. So I think that I think the football card thing is pretty cool. We were going to go to the mall. I might try to go to one of those card shops or something and get a hobby box or something and pay a little bit of money and try to get something exciting. But okay, here we go. Third play. Mike Evans isn't re-signing with the Bucks. Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, I got a numbered Chris Godwin, which is kind of cool. It's 50 out of 200, but it was my first ever numbered card that I pulled. So there's only 2 of them in the world, and I got one. All right, here we go. Last play. My boy, FVV, Fred Van Vliet, over 18.5 points plus rebounds. I did throw a graph up behind me, but I mean, I just did it because I did it for everything else. Not a whole lot of excitement with this one. If you look at the graph, he is over this in both games against the Suns. In fact, guards have been able to tear the Suns up here recently. He had 27 and 28 points plus rebounds combined within 6 days of each other. And now he is playing just 3 days later since the last. So in the last 10 games or so, the Rockets are going to be playing the Suns 3 times or so in that time frame. He has flown over this number in both games, and I see little reason as to why he won't do it again today. The Suns have not been playing really well defensively, in my opinion. I think this is a fantastic spot as he has covered the 18.5 in just points alone, if you look at the graph there. And then now we have rebounds on top of it, which he put up a 5 and a 6 spot against them. So we have a line here, which is my absolute favorite to play. I mean, there is nothing better than this situation that we have right now. We have an 18.5 points plus rebound line. And against this team just recently, he has covered that line alone in points. Now you're telling me we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra rebounds, maybe more, that gets added on top of it. If he has 5 again, we're telling me he just needs 14 points, which I'm sure he's done plenty of times this year. I didn't look it up. I know he can be kind of streaky, but he has had success against this team. So we're going to ride the wave and see what happens, see what kind of success we potentially have, in the future. So let's recap here. Before we recap, I was really wanting to try to have some additional content or whatever on YouTube. Should it be football cards? If you're watching live, I mean, let me know. If you're watching on the recorded version, let me know in the comments. I feel like I could probably do some kind of content. I don't know what. I mean, I could even do start doing unboxing videos, not necessarily live, or maybe live. Maybe that'd be cool to do it live, do it at like night when the kids go to bed. I see it on TikTok all the time. In fact, like I'm not gonna lie, like you can pay, it's like $20 and you pick your team and they pull like literally open up like 40 box like $50 boxes and you get every card for that team. Well, that's kind of neat. I'm not gonna do that because I'm not shipping, stuff and whatever for you, but I think it'd be kind of cool to do something football card related. I just don't know how crazy I want to get and what would be best in terms of, do I just record myself like opening up some cards during the day and then, like, hey, like this is what we got, or like I do it live and like people are hanging out and we get to talk and stuff like that. I feel like that'd be probably a little cooler, a little more cool thing to do. But to recap here on March 2nd, 2024, Lunchtime in the Lab, we're going to ride with Austin Reeves over 14.5 points. That's not right, actually. It's 13.5 is what I bet. 14.5, 13.5, 14.5, wherever you're at. I mean, he's going to hit like 16 or 17. It's going to cover both those lines. It's not going to matter anyway. Anthony Davis over 27.5 points plus assists. And then lastly, we'll wrap it up with Fred Van Vliet over 18.5 points plus rebounds. As always, I'm your host, Lunchtime in the Lab. We're brought to you every dang day at 11:30. Follow me on social media at Live Joe Bets. Like I said, I've got the 10 to 10K challenge going. If you have not gotten in on that, starts in like 3 hours. I kind of put the plays out pretty early. That's all I got for you, though, guys. I appreciate it. Let me know what you think about some additional content. Maybe it's football cards or baseball cards or trying to get that Wimby card. $500. Those Wimby cards are going for like $500. Could you imagine pulling something like that? Crazy stuff. But I'm gonna close it out. Check out this outro. Let me know what you guys think about all the content. Give me a follow, and I will see you guys back.